I think the Boston Celtics are the most fraudulent team in the NBA. Gentlemen, the NBA season is about a week away and I am so excited. I've been waiting for the season to start ever since the finals ended, but we got some things that we got to talk about before the season starts. Look, man, I got a lot of nasty propaganda to spread, and I think we got to start with the fact that the Boston Celtics are overrated as hell, they're fraudulent, and I don't think this team is going to do well. I'm not going to lie, if we go back to last season, I didn't think this was a bad team. They had some of the best depth in the NBA, they were a solid team, and they had guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown who were playing at their best. However, when the playoffs started and we started to notice a couple things, I realized that Jaylen Brown, for one, can't dribble with his left hand. Jason Tatum is an inconsistent superstar level player, and also the depth is still pretty good if I'm being honest. Oh, and Al Horford's a fucking dog, but that's not really the point I'm trying to make. Now I know they lost to the Miami Heat in 7 games. They were down 3-0. They damn near came back, but of course, this is something they can bounce back from. I mean, once again, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and they were so close to the NBA Finals. I feel like Boston is always just one step away from succeeding, which of course is very tragic, but it is something you can work on and it lets you know that you're right there. And to start the offseason, things didn't go too terribly. They did extend Jaylen Brown to a pretty big contract. Me personally, I don't know if I would have given him that much. I don't know if that's exactly what he's worth. However, I do feel like Boston was kind of stuck and they had no choice but to extend him. I mean, I do think Jaylen Brown is still one of the best in today's game, especially at the shooting guard position. And I feel like it would have been very hard to get someone of his talent that you could just get right away. I mean, at the time, the Damian Lillard stuff was going on, but it wasn't really in place that they could possibly get him. Because remember, this is when Dame said that he wanted to go to Miami, so Boston wasn't really thought about as a possible team to get him. Now, with the few rumors here and there that the Celtics could get Dame, their offseason really didn't have to be that eventful. Now, the only move they did make originally was getting Kristaps Porzingis in a 3-team trade, which they did send off Marcus Smart, which I don't know if I necessarily like that. I mean, that guy was literally the definition of Celtics culture, whatever the hell that is. But honestly, why not give it up? Kristaps Porzingis just came off his best season that he's had in quite some time, and he does have potential to help out Boston in a lot of ways. But other than this trade, they did not have to change much to the team. I feel like them running it back with this team would not have been the worst thing in the world. I feel like the reason why they lost that series was not because of the depth. I honestly think it was just because Jaylen Brown just wasn't as good as he could have been, and Jason Tatum had his struggles here and there. I also do think Jason Tatum got injured in that series, but I cannot remember for the life of me, so someone tell me if I'm wrong. I really do think that all they needed to do was just have players progress, and honestly, they would have been fine. But that's not what Boston wanted to do. No, they wanted to shake things up in a trade that is making no sense to me. About 2 to 3 weeks ago when Damian Lillard was traded, one of the biggest pieces in that trade was Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday was sent to the Portland Trail Blazers, and honestly, I didn't think he was going to stay on the team. I mean, it just makes no sense. Portland has young guards that they want to develop, and having Jrue Holiday play goes against everything they're trying to do right now. But look, when Portland got him, we all knew he was going to be a trade asset, and a lot of teams were lining up to get him. And a lot of teams tried, and a lot of teams failed. The Warriors, for one, were interested at some point, which I started laughing at the thought of that. Miami was just trying to get some sloppy seconds, which doesn't surprise me. But a team that started to emerge was the Boston Celtics. Now, depending what they were giving up, this could have been a little bit of a high risk, high reward situation. And on October 1st, the trade became official. The Boston Celtics would trade Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, and 2 first-round picks. And the Celtics would only get Jrue Holiday. Now, people had a lot of reactions. For one, they were looking at the starting lineup saying, oh my god, this is the best starting lineup in basketball. A lot of people thought the Celtics were already going to win the NBA Finals. There was also a part of people that realized that this wasn't exactly the best trade you could have made. Well, Spex, what did you think? Well, I fucking hated this trade when it happened. I thought it was a terrible trade, and I didn't like what Boston gave up for Jrue Holiday. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, but you're just jealous, Spex, that y'all didn't get Jrue Holiday. You're a Suns fan, you probably wanted him. And maybe you could make that point if I didn't have a Twitter account. By the way, you guys should go follow that Twitter account. I mean, my birthday was literally 2 days ago, and none of y'all told me happy birthday or got me anything for my birthday. I mean, come on, man. I thought we was gang for real. How you gonna do me like that? Hey, but I'll forgive you if you follow my Twitter. Also, subscribe to the channel and like the video. On a real note, I'm gonna stand on business and I'm gonna tell y'all I've been hating this fucking move from the beginning. For one, if we're just talking about what they gave up too much in my honest opinion. I love Robert Williams. I think he's a great rim protector. I will say though, he's been getting injured a lot recently. However, I do think in a hypothetical where he doesn't get injured, he is a great center to have on your team, but most importantly, he helps out your depth. Now, Malcolm Brogdon, it's hard for me to really speak on. I think this is justified because you're trading guard for guard. Also, I'm pretty sure I heard some rumors that Malcolm Brogdon didn't want to be there anymore, so in theory, agree that's not a bad trade. And I mean, giving up a couple first round picks is not too bad, but I mean, is Boston really going to be that bad in 2029? I think the other one was in 2024. Regardless of that, I just hate the fact that they also traded for Jrue Holiday. It seems like Jrue Holiday has this reputation in the NBA as this great defensive player, more specifically in the perimeter, and he's also someone that can be a scorer when he needs to be. Now, I've talked positive about Jrue Holiday in the past, but for the past less than a year, I've been kind of negative on this guy. To be 1000% honest with you, I think Jrue Holiday is a playoff dropper. I think he is someone that cannot show up to the occasion when it matters most. Also, the one thing that people love to talk about is his perimeter defense. The fact that he's really good on that side of the ball is very important for a team's success. But I feel like a lot of people like to bring up the 2021 NBA Finals versus, the Phoenix Suns. Not like I care anything. But in that series, a lot of people remember the fact that Jrue Holiday did win the game for the Bucks when he had that steal on Devin Booker. But I feel like a lot of people forget the fact that Jrue Holiday got exposed in that series. But history, they're not going to remember that. My good friend Sir William Trillium posted something about a week or two ago showing that Jrue Holiday got exposed by Chris Paul in the NBA Finals. Chris Paul, when guarded by Jrue Holiday, was 16 for 18 from the field, 4 for 4 from 3, and had 36 points in 35 minutes. Hey man, y'all do what you want with that information, but yes, at the end of the day, the Milwaukee Bucks did win, so really, does that matter? Since 2020, Damian Lillard has been shooting 68% from the field when guarded by Jrue Holiday. And really, I only said that just to piss off any Jrue Holiday fan that might be watching this video. Also, do I have to mention the fact that Jrue Holiday has been very consistent when it comes to missing his shots? I mean, for fuck's sake, this guy is one of the reasons why Milwaukee couldn't even advance in the first round. I know Giannis got hurt and he was not the same, but Jesus Christ, Jrue, you were the #1 option and you folded. Like where did you go? I don't see you. Where the fucking dog go, man? Real talk. If we just skip aside Jrue Holiday, I'm not confident in the depth of this team whatsoever. The best player coming off the bench is Derek White, and that's about it. Like, I'm sorry, but Sam Hauser and fucking that guy they just signed, Wenyen Gabriel, that's not scaring me. I'm sorry, I'm not scared. But the starting lineup, oh, that's something we have to talk about because this is being deemed one of the best starting lineups in the NBA, maybe even the best. And I do think having Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in that starting lineup absolutely will help you, but I don't know how I feel about the rest of it. For one, Al Horford, I'm not gonna lie, he's a dog, but he is getting up there in age, and I'm starting to wonder when his age is going to affect him. Kristaps Porzingis had a great year last year, I'm not going to doubt that. However, he has had a tendency to get injured, and also I just don't know how he's going to fit on Boston. I'm not entirely sure just yet. And of course, Jrue Holiday, but you know my feelings towards him. Now, in defense of Jrue Holiday, he's probably not going to have to be one of the top scoring options. I mean, you have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown already, so I don't really think scoring is going to be an issue. The defense is something that I think is going to suffer a little bit, and again, the depth, I am not confident in it. Now, let's talk about the regular season. I think the Celtics are going to be the 1 or 2 seed. I'm not doubting that. But I think when come playoff time, they're going to get exposed. Trust me, if Boston wins like 50, 60 games, I know people in my comment section be like, oh, you were wrong about the Celtics. Yet when the playoffs come, I need you guys to understand this is where I think they're going to get exposed. I hate the depth of this team. I hate the fact it takes a couple small things for this entire thing to fucking fall apart. It takes Kristaps Porzingis to once again get injured, which I pray to God does not happen. It takes Jrue Holiday to be a fucking scoring option for this team to be in shambles. Jaylen Brown, do not have this man dribble with his left hand. He is going to fold. I'm calling it right now. I'm getting 2015 Atlanta Hawks vibes. I'm just telling you, there's something about this team I don't like. All I'm saying is don't be surprised if this team gets eliminated in the first and second round. Also, don't be surprised if I got my playoff predictions right, which I made a video about it about 10 days ago. I know I've been slacking on the uploads. I'm trying to get better, man. But anyways, gentlemen, the video is on the screen right here. Go click it, go check it out, or listen to the brand new podcast episode we just dropped on the Starting 5 podcast.